Good morning, I'm Matt Briscoe, Managing Editor for the Hill Country Tribune. This is your morning news update. AT&T says 911 service has been restored for cell phone customers who have been unable to call 911 in Texas and several other states. Various law enforcement and government agencies in Texas, Florida, Tennessee, and other states had reported the problem Wednesday evening. A spokesperson for Dallas-based AT&T on Wednesday told the Hill Country Tribune that they offered customers apologies for the problem, but the spokesman did not immediately provide details on how many states or customers were affected or what caused the outage. During the outage, many law enforcement agencies in affected states provided alternate numbers for people to call if they had an emergency. It's unsure if any of local counties here in the Burnett and the Highland Lakes area were affected. However, we're quite certain that a number was not posted to the public if there was an emergency. The mayor of the Mississippi City town, that's a tough one. The mayor of the Mississippi City where a train slammed into a bus, killing 4 tourists, says he will keep working with the railroad to close some crossings and make other ones safer. Biloxi Mayor Andrew Fofo Gillett said Wednesday that he will use his recommendations from CSX Transportation to minimize the chances of another fatal wreck. The city had already scheduled a hearing on March 21st to discuss closing 6 railroad crossings when the CSX freight train hit the bus after it got stuck on the track Tuesday. The Main Street crossing where the wreck occurred, however, it's not on the list. National Transportation Safety Board member Robert Sumwalt said the crossing had a hump that had caused tractor trailers to bottom out, and the federal agency is looking into whether the steep grade played a role in Tuesday's crash. An interesting story out of Bexar County. A man booked into the Bexar County Adult Detention Center 2 days ago without bail is facing new charges after he failed escape attempt on Wednesday. Inmate Thomas Trevino, 34, was arrested on charges of assault causing bodily injury and possession of a controlled substance with the intent to deliver, according to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. Detention officers checked up on him at approximately 10:50 in the morning while he was in a cell inside the infirmary, which is located on the first floor. It's unclear why Trevino was in the infirmary. However, at 11:12 a.m., he was reported missing. 3 officers discovered him at 11:30 a.m. after they found that he had climbed into the ceiling above his cell. All 3 officers suffered minor injuries, so they brought him down. According to the sheriff's office, they were treated by medical personnel following the incident. No other information was readily available. A Brenham woman who says she was wrongfully charged in a 2015 biker gang shootout that left 9 dead and 177 people arrested has filed a $350 million federal lawsuit against the city of Waco, McLennan County, the district attorney, police chief, and other investigators. Morgan English, 32, filed the suit Wednesday in Austin federal court, contending officials violated her constitutional right and lied to authorities in wrongly claiming that she was a known member of a criminal motorcycle gang who participated in ongoing criminal activities. This is especially outrageous because a perjured arrest affidavit was issued for a young lady who arrived at the restaurant parking lot minutes before the shooting began, said Randall Kalin, the Houston civil rights attorney who's representing English. Morgan English has now been portrayed all over the world as being involved in a mass homicide. Her lawsuit is very different from the others that have been filed for the melee nearly 22 months ago. Authorities have pointed to a judge's gag order that prohibits them from commenting publicly about what happened at Waco. English and her husband William drove to Waco that May for what they thought would be a quarterly meeting of a motorcycle group called the Coalition of Clubs and Independents to discuss bike-related legislation. But after the couple arrived and started walking from their Nissan Sonata to the meeting spot at the Twin Peaks restaurant, they heard shots begin to ring out and took cover. They later learned that police had staked out the scene in anticipation of a face-off between members of the Cossacks and Banditos motorcycle gang. When the smoke cleared, 9 bikers were dead. Most of the deaths were from law enforcement gunfire, the suit alleges. So that's a problem that will not go away for McLennan County District Attorney Abel Reyna, who has been cloaked in controversy ever since his mishandling of this investigation. And that's your news this morning. Currently at 6:23 in the morning, 64 degrees in Bertram, 62 in Burnett, reaching for a high today of about 70. Reporting from the Hill Country Tribune M&M Business Solutions Studio, Food Managers Training Headquarters, I'm Matt Briscoe.